What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Air Force Basic Military Training End of Course Final Exam. But before we get into the details of this exam, let's start covering some of the basics. My name is Michael Inman and I'm an airman in the United States Air Force. If you like military and/or Air Force content, I upload a video every Monday. So definitely hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload a brand new video. But let's jump into this test. So throughout your time at basic military training, you're going to be attending academic courses. Pretty much they run an hour to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours on a bad day. And all of those academic sessions are going to be focusing on content that can be found in your BMT SG, or your Basic Military Training Study Guide. Now, the BMT SG is very thick-witted, so because of that, it is very intimidating. However, we will kind of just help resolve, or at least reduce, some of your anxiety because you do not need to learn everything in the very big, intimidating BMT SG. Not all of the chapters will be on the end of course exam or end of course test. So luckily for you, not only do you not need to learn all of it, but also it is pretty explicitly provided to you which chapters you really should focus on. You have actually an official list in regards to which chapters are going to show up on the end of course test. And so because of that, you know which chapters to not necessarily pay more attention to when you're actually being taught them, but you do know which chapters to focus on when you're going backwards for review. The actual test is going to fall probably in your last week or second to last week of BMT, and it's going to be a Scantron test. So for everyone who has traumatic experiences from high school, and of course Scantron, brings all of that up, you've been warned. Let's start getting into some tips on how you can find success for your own end of course test. So step number 1 is actually try to stay awake during class. Now, sometimes you will start to doze off and a wingman will go and will help you kind of get back on the horse and stay focused. But let's just try to make it a goal to reduce the need for the wingman in that context. So I'm pretty much saying try to get enough sleep, so try to calm down when it's lights off time. Don't be chit-chatting all night with your best friend. Try to recuperate from your entry controller duty, especially if you had a late night shift. Let's move on to step 2. Step 2 is surely take notes in class. So it sounds stupid, but a lot of people, when they're in the academic sessions, they're gonna be like, I'm tired, I'm kind of very bored. I also am not quite sure how much I care about this information, even though it's important, it is important, but that's just how it be in your head. You're like, why am I learning this? And on top of all of that, other than being tired and questioning the pertinence of the information, you're just maybe not going to be in the mood to be Mr. Star Student or Mrs. Star Student. But it behooves you to take notes so that you, once again, not only were paying attention during the chapter reviews that you are going to have to, of course, recall prior to the end of course test, but also you have notes that you wrote that you understand, because then you will be able to just kind of quickly, or at least systematically, review the information once you get closer to the end of BMT and be like, okay, I'm glad I took these notes, because now I can just next page, oh wait, I remember that day, that's why I wrote it that way, we're great. So let's go into optional tip A. So the optional tip, which you don't have to follow, that's why it's optional, it's actually to review your notes at the end of the weekend. So review the notes from the prior week on Sunday. So just find, 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes max to literally just go through the notes you took from the academic sessions that week and literally just flip through your notes, read them, re-download it into your noggin, and you will literally be setting yourself up for success. I promise. Let's move on to step number 3. Step number 3 is to review all of your notes right around the last few academic courses. So right around the time when you only have like 2 or 3 academic courses left, that is when you start needing to get into gear of academic mode and really reviewing your notes. Once again, 10 to 30 minutes max, maybe once or twice a week, really is going to put you in a great spot. Because at that point, you've been doing it a couple times throughout BMT, so the recall is just kind of there. Even if it's just a random date, like what year did the first Air Force pilot fly from North America to South America? I don't know, something like that. Those count. Here is your second optional tip. You don't have to, but I encourage it. Optional tip B is to participate actively or moderately. Just participate really in any form or fashion. When your academic monitor, the person in your flight who's been assigned to make sure people are prioritizing their academic components of BMT, when he or she, plans, like let's say a study session on the weekend that's gonna last an hour and go through all of the chapters that will be on the EOC, I would encourage you to actively engage with that academic monitor's initiatives. So if it's a study session, go. And if it's just you're waiting outside the chow hall or cafeteria for dinner and your academic monitor says, hey guys, since we are clearly not going to be getting food for the next 10 to 15 minutes, how about I ask you guys some random questions from the BMT study guide and raise your hand if you know it. Okay? I encourage you and your other whiz kid friends in your flight to be ready for that and to be kind of all for it. It's extra practice. So just utilize your academic monitor. Step 4 is set a specific time during the actual week of the exam for you and your peers or friends. I just didn't want to round up, but I hope you have friends in your flight. Whoever your clique is, for you and your clique to do a study group moment. So just plan when it's the actual week of the end of course test, plan a specific time for you and your crew, you and your pals, you and your homies to roll up around whatever cot bed situation y'all want to roll up on, to come together and literally just kind of quiz each other from each of your notes. Step 5 of how to pass the EOC test is to be confident. After doing all of the other steps, I think at that point, you need to just go into the EOC confident, knowing that it is not crazy difficult at all. I promise. It's not crazy difficult, but just be confident. Try to pass, meaning just try to get a 70%. You can do it. Just know that you can do it. I know you can do it, so just put in the work, make it happen. So try to pass with a 70, but aim for over a 90, because when you exceed a 90 on the end of course test, you then are eligible for honor graduate. And that would be nice. We collectively would like honor graduate, okay? Good. A couple last things. Firstly, if you do not get a 70, breathe in, breathe out, move forward. So you will get another chance to take the EOC. A few people on my flight had this situation. Don't worry, it does happen. Probably a few people in each flight, this happens. Whether they were, let's say, overly confident or just underprepared, it's a nice shock to open your eyes to maybe your current study habits don't quite work. Let's rework the plan and kind of get our head back in the game. So you do get a second chance to take the EOC, and then I believe, not positive, but I believe if you fail it again, that is when you are recycled. Just don't overthink it. Do not put a lot of pressure on yourself, and do not fall into the trap of underpreparing and thinking that You'll just be fine. You've been there for multiple weeks. I'll just be able to recall everything without reviewing even once. Don't do that. Oh, one more thing. You should get your score back same day. Just keep your head in the game, you'll be fine. Thank you again for joining me on this marvelous Monday. I had a ball, of course. I will be seeing you guys in the comic and of course seeing you guys in just 1 week's time. Please subscribe if you are not subscribed. Love to see that you are committing. We love a commitment. So anywho, please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also comment and like. And if you want to see a little bit more of this space, I'm available at Instagram and Twitter at Michael A. Inman _. Until next week, stay marvelous and see ya later.